Hey, HTDA, and today I want to give you a sneak preview of an upcoming indie base building / automation game called Revive and Prosper. The game will be coming out in early access as of the 5th of December and is still in full development, so I do have to admit it's a little bit rough around the edges here and there. That said, I do think the core gameplay seems very promising, so let's check out one of the first levels that show you quite a lot of what the game currently has on offer. Meet our 6 brave adventurers in our post-apocalyptic world, and you can see from their faces this is very post-apocalyptic, that they are going to try their best to turn this desert island into something that's a little bit more hospitable, and hopefully we are going to deliver on the game goal, which is deliver 50 barrels with water, 40 carrots and 40 cabbage soups into this portal over here. Now there's a whole lot of stuff going on here in the map that I'm not going to go through right now. I'm going to explain everything as it becomes relevant. Because this game is a lot harder than it actually looks, and it's also really interesting because initially I thought it was a little bit rough and the controls take some getting used to as well, but all in all it's actually kind of addicting once you get the hang of it. However, first of all, you look at those nice little trees, we can cut them down by kind of selecting them with the harvest tool, and then our little guys run off and cut those trees down. Now, as you can see from this tiny tree over here, the trees actually do kind of replant themselves as well, and you do have these seeds laying on the floor underneath the trees as well that you can collect and then replant the trees wherever you want them to grow. What you can also do is make sure you people can actually reach everywhere else in the world by digging some stairs. And as you can see, you don't control your people directly, but you do give them orders. They have this whole priority thing going on here that you might have seen in other games as well, and kind of direct them as you go. Okay, so I'm going to set up a little base over here. So let's get rid of all those trees that are going to get in the way. Let's collect some stone as well while we're at it, and cut down all these barren trees over here as well. We can always replant trees, so you don't have to be too careful about cutting them down or anything like that. We have some resources here already, so we have some foodstuffs, some cabbage seeds, some corn, and some carrot seeds. We have some storage for belts, as well as wooden mechanisms, so you need these to make more complicated buildings like you see over here. However, this is not actually currently doing anything because that actually needs power. I'll get to that in a moment. And I also have wooden storage set up to collect planks, because planks are pretty much used to make everything in this game. And there's quite a few things that you can actually build. However, in order to make some more, let's build a manual sawing station. Very basic. Just a little thing like this over here that someone can use to make some manual planks. And let's also make a little bit of a working station like this. And in here, people are going to, by hand, make some belts and wooden mechanisms as well. That covers kind of the basic production, so we have that going all the time. Now, let me show you how you can actually replant trees. Let's not go with the birch, let's go with the spruces. Poplars? Poplars. That's what they're called. They are kind of nice and small, so you can put a lot of them next to each other like this. And you kind of want to build those, oh, there's already one over there, okay. You want to build those in areas that are near the water, so they actually get some water and they will start growing. Now, what you can also do is set the harvesting to automatically cut down and replant. So this is very convenient because now I can basically have these trees grow and then they will be cut down whenever they're good to go, basically. Now, my people are also going to need to eat and drink, so let's make sure they have access to some water. Let's put up a manual well. Actually needs to be next to the water, of course. So let's put it up something like this. Maybe let's go with 2, so they always have a little bit of spare water. And in terms of food, we have this nice little island over here that has access to all this water, so we can maybe make some carrots like this. We're also going to need to seed some carrot seeds, as strange as that might sound. So let's do that over here. And we had some cabbage seeds as well. So we might as well just have some cabbage growing over here as well. And then maybe some cabbage seeds over here in the back. Something like this. This is just going to take a little while to grow. Maybe we should add some more carrots, actually. It doesn't actually need any manual labor other than just seeding them and then harvesting them later on, and they will grow automatically very slowly as long as they have access to water. Oh, look at them, they're actually getting some water from the water well. That's really nice. So we have some food and water going. We are growing some trees. So now all we need to do is make sure our people actually have somewhere to sleep. And we're going to make these basic sheds in order to do that. Let's see. There's like 4 beds in here, I believe. If I saw that correctly. Yep, so we have 6 people, so we need 2 of those. And as soon as these are built now, our people will have somewhere to sleep. Oh, look, it's raining and the water actually came up a little bit. As you can see, people are still able to get through on this this walkway over here, so that's not really a problem, but it is something to take into account that water levels will rise and fall depending on the rain and the dry spells, so take that into account. As we're finishing the sheds, I actually realized I have nowhere to actually cook my food, so let's make a fireplace or 2, maybe 3, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how many of these we need. However, if I can click this, yes, you can make a whole bunch of different types of food over here. We are, of course, making cabbages now, and cabbage soups only need water, wood, and cabbage. So you could make some of those carrot soups. Let's just set it to do all of that. We can also make steamed corn. We did have some corn here as well. So if we just set all of these up to do exactly that, we should have some food incoming as well. Oh, look at our hard workers sleeping after a day of hard work. So let's take a quick look at the priorities of our people. As you can see, they're all ready to spawn a golem first thing. I'll get to that in a moment. They have different preferences for different things as well. So you see we have a good variety of people who like different things. We have someone set to prioritize cooking, someone set to prioritize cutting things down, digging, working, harvesting. Yeah, this looks pretty good, I think. We have a bit of a mess going on over here. I did make some stairs over here just to make this look a little bit nicer, but let's see, we are going to need some more storage. Maybe some wooden storage over here. Yeah, let's make 2. Let's set 1 to collect all the wood, so it doesn't just lay around everywhere. And then we have the other one to collect all the soil. So all this stuff can actually have somewhere to go. What is this? This is stone. Well, we might as well just make another wooden storage for that as well then, I suppose. Would you look at that? The first carrots are good to go, and they're actually harvesting them and replanting them. So all working like intended. Now there's a reason that all of these guys have set spawn golem to their first priority, because you can basically spawn a duplicate of all of these guys that will work without needing to eat or sleep, but it will despawn after a little while. And you do that by making a golem factory. You only need some soil, stone, and wood for that, so we have most of those things already good to go. So let's set that up over here and have some golems. Now it seems I need some additional soil in order to do that, so I might as well just do some redesign of my entire area over here. Now you can actually do that a little bit easier than just doing everything one by one. For example, with something like this, I'm going to cut down a whole bunch of this stuff over here and over here, and then cut out some more stuff over here, I believe, just to make some room for all the stuff we're going to need. Our golem facility is now in production, and we should see our first golem coming out really soon, and that's basically going to double our workforce. These golems look kind of ugly, but they're really fast, and they have no complaints about working really hard. Okay, time to get some automation going. We have the storage over here, the saw over here, and the woodworking facility over here to pretty much make everything that we have over here as well. However, we need some power. We're going to get that by building some windmills. Now, I made this nice little area over here where we can place down some windmills. I actually don't like where they are right there. Let's place them a little bit closer, because honestly, we don't need that much power to get this going. Could actually place it right over here next to the facility where it needs to go, like so. And as you can see, we have the windmill up and running. Now, wind power does go up and down over time, so it's not completely 100% reliable. But now we have the wood going in over here, and the wood being turned into planks over here. planks being stored in this automated storage. It actually can fit 200 of those, so that's quite a lot. And then the planks are waiting to be turned into something else. Well, right now we don't really need anything. We don't need belts, or we'll need wooden mechanisms. I can set it to make some wooden mechanisms anyway, and as you can see, it will now automatically do that. However, now it just ran out of power because we need some more torque. So let's build some more windmills. And with 2 additional windmills, we now have this up and running. So we can now basically automate any production of wooden mechanisms or whatever else we might need. Now let's take a look at this water pump over here. It's already connected to the water, so that's all fine, but it needs quite a bit of power. So what I'm actually thinking is maybe let's put down some windmills over here, and then put down some water power in here, so that basically once it starts pumping water through here, we can actually use that water and turn it into more power. And look, our windmills are now powering this facility by the means of these torque bars over here. You can actually see them turning, which is really nice. They're connected to the machine slot over here, and the water is now being pumped into this nice little canal over here, and you can slowly see the water spreading. Now that does mean that this soil will now get some hydration. As you can see, there's moisture coming in, so we can actually plant some stuff now here as well. Okay, so we have the water flowing, and as you can see, we are getting some grass here already, but the water mills that I've built are not actually doing anything, and that is because the water level in this little canal is too low, and that is because as soon as it gets any higher, it just flows out right here. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to fix that by building a floodgate. Now we can make the floodgate over here like this. This should stop the water, and by doing so we can regulate how much water we actually have in our canal over here. Okay, I spent way too long fiddling around with a couple of things over here. As you can see, we have now grown trees, we have a lot of carrots, a lot of cabbages, so that's all working like intended. What is not working like intended is the actual water mills. I can't get them to work, and I think that the problem is that we're simply not pumping enough water into here. So that means that there's just not enough flow going on. As you can see, the floodgate over here is working like intended. It's stopping the water, so the water level can go up. If we put this up, it can go down if we put it down. But as you can see, the water levels drop really, really quickly if we do that. So all in all, it's not really doing what I want, namely making enough flow here so these things start turning. Anyway, let's focus on actually completing our mission objectives though, because we have a lot of carrots, we have a lot of cabbage soup, but we don't really have enough barrels just yet. Now, as you can see, the level was nice enough to kind of suggest how we actually fill those barrels, and we do that with a barrel filler. Original, I know. However, in order to build this thing, we're going to need some iron, and we currently don't have any. Honestly, we might also want some copper, because this thing actually needs to get water from somewhere, as you can see. Again, a suggestion over here. We do have the pipes over here that are all connected to these pumps over here. So we should be able to get that to work if we can make a nice little copper piping structure to connect to this barrel. Which brings me to this furnace over here where we can make some iron. As you can see, you can make iron pretty efficiently, so that's not going to be a problem. We actually do have iron over here, which we can mine by hand. Now, obviously, we would ideally want to do this with the digging wheel, but in order to make the digging wheel, we need iron. So this is kind of a chicken and egg situation. Similarly, we have some coal over here, so let's dig out some of that as well. And then we can probably place down another digging wheel right next to this thing. Let's see, where is the digging wheel? Where is the digging wheel? Somewhere here? Yes, here we go. So we can probably place that down somewhere like this. And then as soon as we have both of those up and running, we can automate our production of iron. And there we go. We now have automated iron production. It's not going to go really fast. That's mainly because the wind is not really at a high level at the moment, although it's coming back. So this is speeding up as we're talking. And well, as you can see, it's a very simple setup, but now we have pretty much infinite production of iron. I don't actually think this digging wheel actually depletes the source. Might be wrong about that, but at least it's going so slow that it's not really noticeable. Now let's do the same for some copper. And there we go. I built another one of these digging wheels, and that is now producing copper ore, and I rerouted the actual coal because we don't need that much iron. I'm still producing some iron. We have 68 already. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that. Should probably set this to be paused so we don't have people running around trying to supply this for no reason. But yeah, we now have some copper in production, copper ingots that is, but we still don't have the pipes. Which is where this blacksmith comes in. This is just a manual factory, but we can easily set it to produce some copper pipes endlessly. Now all we need is some coal, which we are producing. As you can see, there's a lot of coal just sitting around over here, and we should be getting in some pipes. It seems our workers actually decided to deliver the carrots that we have in production to the portal themselves. Not entirely sure why that is, but I'll take it. I mean, that's where they need to go anyway. So now we only need to worry about the water and the water in barrels, I should say, and the cabbage soup. And that means it's time to connect this sprinkler over here to the outlet over there. And I think something like this should do the trick. Now we actually need to make sure there's water coming in as well. And it looks like this entire valley actually filled up with water while I was watching. It's pretty much just a natural rainfall, but not entirely sure if that's intended behavior that the water level slowly goes up, because I was expecting to have to kind of dig a canal here to lead the water to the pumps, but that seems to have fixed itself. Now we have a valve over here that I think we need to open up. But now you can see there's water flowing through here, and the sprinklers start working. Let's direct the water in this direction as well. So now these sprinklers also start working. It seems they all start working now because all these are interconnected. So I'm not entirely sure why there's more valves if they're not actually working. Well, actually, maybe we should be able to close these. There don't seem to be valves over here, though, so I'm not entirely sure if there's a point to that. Might as well just keep them spraying while we wait for our pipeline to be built. As you can see, the first little parts have already been delivered. It actually seems that the cabbage soup was also delivered to the portal all by itself, so that's really nice. So let's make sure we start making some automated barrels as well. And that means that we are now only having to deliver wood in here. This will make the barrels. We should have our water production here automated as well, although people can actually bring water to the barrel filler itself as well, so just manually carrying it around. And that I think that should mean that we are now able to complete the last target as well. Turns out I needed to do some canal digging anyway, because as soon as I started pumping, the water level actually went down, and then my pumps were once again dry. As you can see, the deep ends of the pool are here. So I needed to cut through the floor and actually make sure my pumps were getting some water. So these sprinklers are nice and all, but it feels like all the production of my water is actually going towards the sprinklers, and none of that is actually reaching the water barrels. So I'm actually going to take these out and just replace them with, oh, look at all that water being wasted, and replace them with some normal piping, so I can just straight up connect this to my water production over here. I'm feeling a little bit bad because I took out the sprinklers and now my whole area is turning barren again, but mission accomplished at least when it comes to getting the water to the actual barrel producers. For some reason I am now once again out of barrels though, so let's go and fix that. Now, for some very frustrating reason that I can't figure out, for some reason I'm no longer getting my barrels delivered to this automated storage. I actually removed all the other storage for barrels. I built an additional one over here just to test if that was the problem, but for some reason my 30 barrels that I have produced are not actually reaching this specific facility. So I'm taking out the big guns, literally. I have built a new type of automated storage, namely the Catapult automated storage. And yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. So now I connected my automated sawmill over here that is producing barrels to a Catapult. And if we set it to connect to the destination with the barrels, then as you can see, it will start aiming and we can say shoot. Now this is going to be fun. Let's see. It is now shooting the barrels all the way over here, and this should be exporting them onto the belt. There we go. And now we finally automated the delivery of our resources. I'm not entirely sure how shooting barrels through the sky exactly works, but hey, don't argue with it, as if it works, it works. And while the barrels are flying through the air and we're getting very close to completing our end goal, I think it's a nice moment to kind of zoom out. If you think about that, we started on this empty island over here with almost nothing built in this entire map. And now we have lush green forests over here, we have water over here, we have an entire industry for mining set up here as well. All in all, I think that's pretty impressive for a team of just 6 people. Persons? I'm not entirely sure what to call them, but you get the point. We have a nice little village over here as well. We have a stockpile of a lot of resources. And I think the interesting thing about this game is that it challenges you to do all of that with just those 6 people and their golems. And that's all you get. I actually noticed that it's really easy to kind of over-automate some of the things. If you set all these trees to be harvested automatically, at some point your people will be doing nothing but cutting down trees, for example, or harvesting food, and you really don't need to do that. So yeah, finding a nice balance is actually quite interesting. Now, is this game for everyone? Probably not. It's a little bit rough around the edges here and there, but I do think it's quite enjoyable, and it has some, I think, a little bit of twist to the scenario. Hurrah, you won the scenario. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first look at Revive and Prosper. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I hope to catch you in the next one.